Alright, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to another video here on Very Cold Lasagna. And it's time to preview the 49ers Week 9 game against the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, I talked about this game in the Week 8 recap episode for the 49ers on this past week. But a lot of things have happened. A lot of things happened since I did my initial preview of the Cardinals and the 49ers in that episode. I mean, if you want to check out that preview, I highly recommend you check out the full episode of my 49ers recap episode for this week. But like I said, a lot of things have happened since, the initial preview of the Cards and 49ers Week 9 preview. And, I wanted to make a little bit of an updated preview for this game. So obviously we know that it's a divisional rematch for the 49ers and probably one of the two important ones. Obviously the 49ers are facing the Cardinals in this coming week in Week 9. This time around the 49ers are at home, and the following week they're facing the Rams on Monday night. So this is another important 2-game divisional stretch for this team, and this will determine whether or not if they should be at least trying for as much as I don't want them to, trying to get that playoff push going, in spite of that bad secondary. Obviously, when the 49ers last met the Cardinals in Week 5, Trey Lance made his first NFL start, and Trey Lance had a solid outing. That's all I really wanted to see out of him. Like, he did some good things, and there's some things that he still needs to learn, how what to do with the football, and not always rely on the QB run options. Going off the script against Kyle Shanahan, desirability to have Trey Lance run it so much, like freaking RG3. But anyway, yeah, the last time on offense, they didn't take advantage of a lot of opportunities. There was a lot of bad play calling. There was a lot of bad decisions. They really had Kyle Juszczyk try to trick the Cardinals, in snapping the ball on a 4th down, and that didn't work. And, that allowed the Cardinals to take the lead for good in the 4th quarter. But anyway, at least on the defensive side, they limited Kyler Murray and that Red Hot offense to just 17 points. And yeah, I know 17 points is 17 points. But for much of that game, they were stifling Kyler Murray. They were making him rattled, and they were making him throw that ball away on the sidelines. They were stacking him pretty good. So they were limiting him and containing him pretty well up until the point where they were just getting tired. And you can't blame them, because Trey Lance was trying to get his groove going. And how can he get his groove going when Kyle Shanahan was limiting the offense with just designed runs for the QB, or runs in the middle with Elijah Mitchell and Trey Lance. So yeah, you really they really couldn't do much, but it was what it was. The Cardinals heading up to this point are 7-1. They recently lost their game against the Green Bay Packers on last Thursday Night Football. So they also don't have J.J. Watt out for the season with a shoulder injury, and that injury kind of affected the Cardinals on defense. They were unable to stop Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon on the running game, and they pretty much allowed Randall Cobb to have kind of a resurgent night during that Thursday night game. And that their offense was kind of out of sync. Their offense was pretty in a funk all night long. Kyler Murray couldn't find anyone. He allowed the front 7 of the Packers to get to him all night long, just like the 49ers did. And in the final moments of the game, he didn't see any pressure coming to him, and he just pretty much yeeted that ball away. And AJ Green could have caught it, but he was like, no, I'm not gonna try to catch it. I'm not gonna try to look for the ball. I'm just I'm just gonna hug the receiver and let him take away the ball and pretty much throw away our undefeated streak. Like, AJ Green literally sold that game away for the 49ers. So, yeah. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they won their game against the Chicago Bears in Week 8. Obviously, this is pretty much a get-right game for the 49ers. You know, they're coming off their own embarrassing wet loss to the the Indianapolis Colts in Week 7, where Carson Wentz pretty much torched their defense, torched the 49ers defense by, having, needing the ball so much that the 49ers just continued to commit the crimes of pass interference. But fortunately for the Chicago Bears game, the 49ers did not commit any of that, and they pretty much ran the ball and down the Bears' throats. And Jimmy G had a much better game this time around. He took care of the football. The offensive line actually protected him with no sacks whatsoever. That allowed Jimmy G to find his guys like Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk had his best game of the season. And who was his name? Mohamed Sanu also had a good game. Elijah Mitchell had his best game of the season, so much that he got the FedEx Ground Player of the Game, Ground Player of the Week. And Jimmy G got 2 touchdowns on the ground, rushing it for the design QB run on the outside. So overall, pretty good team effort. And Nick Bosa and Samson Bucum got 2 big sacks on Justin Fields late in the game. That pretty much sealed the deal for the Bears in the comeback in their attempt at a comeback. So overall, pretty good effort by the 49ers in their win against the Chicago Bears. Now, as for this game, obviously it's important for the 49ers to win because they want to split the season series against the Cardinals. Otherwise, if they get swept by the Cardinals, well, there's pretty much no chance in hell that they're gonna at least try to win the division at all, whatever chance there was. And the fact that, well, the Rams are coming to town the week after, and if they lose to the Rams as well, there's pretty much even no more chance in hell that they're going to win the division, and their wild card hopes will probably fade even more. So some keys to victory for the 49ers. They got involved in Elijah Mitchell in the passing game, but that could be an issue because he's questionable for this game with a rib injury. But I do think he's going to play, considering that he was at practice on Friday with, even though he had a non-contact jersey, he was pretty much moving around pretty well. And they're getting some guys back. They're getting some guys back like George Kittle and Robbie Gould. And I think Jeff Wilson Jr., their other running back, he's coming off the physically unable to perform list, but he's designated to return. So a lot of guys are coming back, and it's a really good time for them to come back against a Cardinals team that is not healthy at the moment. But more on that later. So whether it's Elijah Mitchell playing or Jeff Wilson's first game back, both of them have to get involved in the passing game alongside their usual running routes. Jimmy G has to follow up on his success from the Bears game. Kyle Shanahan, like I said on the recap episode of Very Cold Lasagna for the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan has to do what works for Jimmy G. Play on his strengths. Don't force him into doing things he's uncomfortable with. Work with his strengths, and if he wants to challenge him a little bit, then challenge him more, then yeah, definitely do so, but make him work what's best. And I think we saw a good chunk of that on Sunday against the Bears. And if he continues to follow up on that success against the Cardinals, then I think they have a good chance to succeed in the passing game and all sides, all fronts. And defensively, Nick Bosa has to have a big game again against Kyler Murray, just because, or whether it's Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy. We'll get into that in a bit. But either way, Nick Bosa has got to have a big game. Pretty much the entire 49ers front seven has got to have a good game against the Cardinals. Follow up on that big success from not just the Cardinals game, but from the Bears game. The defense has to do pretty well. The secondary, They still gotta do some adjusting too. But from what I saw in that Bears game at the end of the game, they read some plays pretty decently. Now for the Cardinals, they're not gonna. It's likely they may not have DeAndre Hopkins due to a hamstring injury. He's gonna be a game time decision. They also might not have Kyler Murray. He might not be available due to an ankle injury that he suffered in a Thursday night game against the Packers. So there's a lot of unknowns going into this game for the Cardinals. They already don't have AJ Green, who's on the COVID list. They already don't have JJ Watt out for the season with the shoulder injury. So even though they have Chandler Jones on defense, that wasn't enough for them to stop the Packers. And I know they're playing a Niners team that's not at full strength quite yet, but still, you don't want to underestimate this Niners team when they're at their near full strength. So for the Cardinals, all the receivers pretty much, even if DeAndre Hopkins plays, so Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore, they got to get involved in the passing game, whoever's going to be playing at quarterback. And they got to look at the ball. They got to look at the ball. Because they don't want to be in another AJ Green, just like selling the game. And well, maybe they will, because maybe you can give a freebie to Josh Norman. Whether it's Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy starting this game, they gotta limit the off the script plays, or it's gonna cost the team the game. I mean, look at Kyler Murray on Thursday night. There was a lot of off the script throws that he had all game long, and it wasn't beneficial. It didn't pay off a lot of the times. And it's weird to me, a lot of these mobile QBs do a lot of off the script throws, and it ends up hurting them. And not just team wise, but also to themselves. They get hurt. So they should continue to go by the script, but balance that script plays with the off the script plays. Have that healthy balance. So if this is a big if, and for a key to victory, if Colt McCoy plays, I would use a big dose of who's their quarterback, Chase Edmonds and James Conner. I really would, even if it's up against a 49ers tough 49ers run defense, because Colt McCoy can't throw that ball. He cannot throw that ball against. Even if the 49ers secondary is shit, Colt McCoy is just as bad as a quarterback. He's just as bad. So, I mean, it's a very hard game to call. It is very hard to predict what is going to happen, because there's just so many unknowns, especially whether or not Kyler Murray is going to play. Even if he does play, he's not going to be moving around as much, because if he moves around, scrambling around, running away, running in circles so much, he's gonna make that ankle injury worse. He's really just gonna be hurting himself, and the Cardinals can't afford to lose him for a potential stretch run when they have to be competing for the division title, and the Rams are literally on their ass. So overall, the Cardinals, do they really want to take a chance on starting Murray in a game that looks winnable on paper for them, but in reality, it could be a trap game, because if they start Kyler Murray, unhealthy Kyler Murray, a less than 100% Kyler Murray, is it really going to be helpful long term for them? Just something to think about. And this is not being saying, you're just saying that because you want the Niners to win so bad. Maybe I do, but I'm just thinking about it. Is this going to help the Cardinals long term? Starting Kyler Murray, less than 100%, and he still does his thing out there, and he gets hurt. Is it really going to help them? Just something to think about. But I could go with the Niners, pick them to win, but it's just so hard to predict what is going to happen in this game, because too many unknowns. You don't know if Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins is going to play. And, it's, who knows? even if they do play, they have a big risk of getting hurt again. So overall, the Niners have to win this game. This is a good opportunity for them to get their revenge, split the season series against the Cardinals, and head into their Monday night game against the Rams with some positive momentum on their side. So that's my preview for the Cardinals and 49ers game in Week 9. Let me know what you guys think. What's going to happen, and whether or not Kyler Murray is going to play, and whether Jimmy G will do well again in this coming game. So that is it for now. DylanLasagna, a Very Cold Lasagna, signing out. And as always, keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge. Your takes on the world of pro wrestling and sports in general. Freezy as cold, and if that's even a sentence, but nonetheless, cold as ice. And taste in your very cold lasagna, tasty like hot, tasty pasta lasagna. But anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, peace out.